Yeah.
Pre-show, I guess that's what y'all call
Okay, yeah, you're recording on this side. Okay.
it. Mm-hmm. All right, there we go. I needed to change the title. I never did.
Chance to what?
The title from NBA Recap. All right. Let's see. Chat. What's going on, y'all? Hey, we're a little well, not early, but earlier than anticipated because Shelton's running behind and FIFO's running behind. But I do have a question for you guys. I want to test a new audio setup while we're waiting on them. So I'm gonna have B talk for a second. Oh, that's Shelton. Let me know how he sound. Go ahead, B.
All right. What up? What up? What up? We live early as hell on damn Dead End Sports, waiting on everyone to get here.
All right, you can stop. That should be good enough.
Okay.
Is there any type of echo or anything like that?
You
Can
have to
y'all hear
check it.
B? What about B? Could y'all hear B? B sound fine?
Yeah, they say that sound fine.
Okay.
What's good, Tigolo?
All right, we're gonna try it this way then. If anything, a little quiet. Well, that's
A
weird.
little
B would
quiet.
sound
Am
quiet.
I quiet? I mean, someone said I sound fine, but then someone said a little quiet. Okay, someone just said I'm good. Okay, bet. They said I'm good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm running B through actual Zoom instead of the microphones in the studio. So yeah, he should be coming through fine because I don't have
Yeah,
to
they
route
said
anything.
someone said a bit of an echo. Maybe when you talk, I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. So last
Yeah.
time, I think the last time we did it this way, it was a bit of an echo when you spoke because you're coming through the TV so we can hear you. So, but I think Zoom is supposed to
Okay.
cancel out the echo. But I think
Gotcha.
what's happening is your audio picks up through these microphones in here.
Gotcha.
But I got my backup just in case. So look, LaMelo Shelton. Is Shelton here?
Yeah, I'm here together. We're gonna talk about Melo. Not Lil Melo, it's just Melo.
No, never.
He's the real
Never
Melo.
that. Never that. All right. So yeah, I think we might be all right though. I think we might be good. So I want to do something a little different this week. Nick is out. So I want to actually take some questions from you guys throughout the show. Questions that you guys have for us. That we can answer on the show for you guys. So FIFO should be here shortly. And we're gonna go ahead and get this bad boy started.
Yeah, man. Sheldon, did you get a chance to watch the Hawks in Dallas yesterday?
Yes, I did. I saw that game. It was a really good game.
Yeah, I saw it came down to like a last shot, really, last second shot.
The Hawks had that game. The Hawks were leading the majority of that game, and they really had it. It just got tight down the stretch, and Luca does what Luca does. And well, actually, Tim Hardaway was hot all the game too.
He was.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway was on fire. And then you had Brunson off the bench. He did his
Yeah,
thing. So
Kyle was saying in our chat that Brunson was coming out giving trade at work.
he was. He had a really, really good game. And although Luca had a triple double, it was a quiet triple double. It wasn't like he was. He did his thing.
He always be having them quiet triple doubles though. You would look up and be like, well, you'd be like, wait a minute, Luca had 28, 14, and 12. How? Like, yeah,
right.
He always had them type of triple doubles. And you be like, damn.
Yeah. And I don't know what they be doing to John Collins, but he be killing. He scored 35, I think, the first game, and 33 in this one.
Yeah, they don't use them enough, man.
Yeah, they don't. They don't use them enough.
Yep. All right, so FIFO should be popping in. We're gonna go ahead and get started, man. We already got one question from We Them Boys, so I'll ask that after I do the intro.
Hey, y'all can still do super chats too, please.
Yep.
We need help.
This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead in sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inge. Joining me on the show, we got Shelton J.
What's happening, man? How y'all doing?
BZ430.
What up, though? What up, though?
And
How y'all feeling?
yeah, right now it's just me, man. FIFO should be on the way. Nick is out tonight. And we don't know who else gonna pop up on Zoom. So we may see Q, we may see Manny. But anyway, yeah, it's the three of Negroes for now, temporarily. And what I want to do, I said this earlier for those of you coming late. We're taking some questions from the chat, man. So I'm gonna keep my eye on the chat. We already got one question that came in from Weedham Boys. So we're gonna start with that first, and then transition to some others as they come in. But before we get into that, man, make sure you guys subscribe and also hit that like button, man. Let's get this thing pumping and let's get some people in here. So hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And Shelton mentioned we're also, taking super chats as well for those of you that want to do that. So we would appreciate it. So Weedham Boys asked, are the Utah Jazz a legitimate threat? That's your squad, B.
Yeah, yes, they are a legitimate threat. I've said that, and before the NBA season started. Before the NBA season started, I said I think of course, besides we was talking about teams that can give Lakers a run. I believe that was kind of like the topic. What teams that we feel
It was.
Yeah, that can give Lakers a run to dethrone them from the Western Conference. We named the Clippers, and then we named Denver. And then when I named for some reason, when I said Utah, people started laughing at me. Like people was cackling at me, laughing. I'm like, okay, all right. We'll see when the season get to cracking. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But as of right now, I mean, as of today, they have the best record in the NBA. They number one seed in the West right now. I mean, they looking good. Devin Mitchell, I feel like their playoff experience in the bowl last year kind of, gave them an extra bit of motivation going into this season, because Devin Mitchell was kind of showing the league that he's arrived. Like he's going to be the future stars, in the years to come in this league. And yeah, man, long as Rudy, protects the basket, does what he does. We're not expecting Rudy Gobert to score a lot. But they was missing Bogdanovich last year during the playoffs. And now if they can continue to have him playing healthy, who else is playing pretty good too?
Who's that?
Mike Conley. Mike Conley's playing pretty good. Like I remember last year, we were kind of questioning, like, I think these are the last of the good years we've seen Mike Conley. But he's looking good right now. We need to see if it's going to translate into the playoffs. But right now, the way Utah is playing, they definitely look like they can be a threat in the West. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the Western Conference Finals this year. But it's going to be interesting because I said this, I think, a few weeks ago, like with the top four teams right now, or the top four teams we're going to assume in the West, with Lakers, Clippers, Denver, and Utah. These four teams are more likely going to end up seeing each other in the second round. Just depends on who match up against who. But so that's going to be an interesting second round if that happens. If it plays out the way I think it may play out, those four teams are going to be the top four teams in the West. And we're going to see some great, intense second round matchups in the playoffs this year. But yeah, man, Utah, I think I'm sticking with my guns, like I said before the season started. I think Utah is definitely going to be one of them teams that can pose a threat. Now, am I saying they're going to win the West or they're going to win a championship? No. But I'm definitely sticking to my guns of saying that this is going to be a team you don't want to just be like, oh, we're going to chalk that off as a series win. They're going to be a tough outing, man, in the playoffs, especially fully healthy.
B, they want you to know, first off, you combining Donovan Mitchell with Devin Booker. So it's Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan
you said
Mitchell. Devin Mitchell. I said Devin Mitchell?
Yeah.
Oh,
but,
that's my fault.
Anyway, I agreed with you back then when you said that because
no, you didn't laugh at me. I know who laughed at me. I got receipts.
I agree with that. I've always thought they were tough, but what makes them special this year more so than any other is that they're covering all phases of the game. You got offense, defense, shooting, and rebounding.
And the bench.
And the bench. Yeah, you got Jordan Clarkson coming out, and that's what I was going to mention too. Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench is a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year, and he's probably going to win it with the way he's playing ball right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that team is just strong. It's just a strong team from first man to the last, and that's what makes them tough. The fact that they can play defense, I think they can play half court.
Yep, they
That's
can.
what's going to make them a
Yep.
formidable challenge for the Lakers in that throne. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying one like you said. I'm not saying they're going to win it,
Right.
but they have a shot to go far, and I would not be surprised if they did win it. But I like this team. I watching them, and it can be a different play. Even when Donovan Mitchell went out when he was hurt,
They were still
or
clicking.
yeah, they were
They
still
were
playing
still
ball,
clicking. Yeah.
and they were playing really good ball.
Yes.
Bogdanovich he was playing his butt off. He was I think one of those games he scored like 28 against Dallas. I think he
I'm
scored
telling
28
you,
or 30,
if
something like that.
if they would have had him healthy last year, they
Mhm.
probably would have got past Denver. If they because they were missing like that other guy that can score for him, and Bogdanovich can definitely get some buckets, man. So it's this is going to be really interesting, man. If this holds up the way I think this should hold up, the Western Conference playoffs is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, and it should be exciting.
Yeah.
It really should. But yeah, like I said, as currently constructed, I like this team. I don't think they really need to make any moves
Mm-hmm.
at the trade deadline because I just like what they have to offer. Joe Ingles comes in, gives a spark. You
Yeah,
got
him and Clarkson are good off. They're good off the bench, man.
O'Neal is
Sometimes
good
Ingles
too.
start though, so I guess depending on what the coaching, what he want to play with the lineups though. But for the most part, Clarkson and Ingles, I see them come off the bench, giving them good offense.
Yeah, and O'Neal is a good defender off the bench
Yep,
too.
yep.
They just got a good team.
Yeah, they do.
So,
They do.
so to answer that question, yes, they are a threat to the Lakers.
They are not a legitimate threat. They look sweet. They're nice. I love D Mitch. I think they're good. I'm not taking what you guys are saying as beating the Lakers or anyone in the West. I think they're playing well. I just don't fully believe in them just yet. To call them a legitimate, for me, the key word is legitimate threat in the West. I do think, as we've seen, that they'll compete and contend and give teams a run for their money, depending on the matchup. So they'll probably get like a 7 or 8 seed. I don't know. They don't change it up on me, so I don't know exactly how it's going to look. But they should probably beat one of those lower seeds.
Yeah, they get a. If they stay at the 1 seed, yeah, of course we know they're gonna be an 8. They're gonna play an 8th seed, but
Yeah. So they should definitely get out of the first round. But as the tournament advances to the second and third,
they're
like,
gonna either play like a Denver or the Clippers or somebody like in that second round.
so you think they
Mhm.
could? Do you think they could beat the Clippers or Denver to get to the W?
They could.
I think so.
Think
Yeah, they
so?
could.
With home court, I think they really could. I just think that I don't think that they'll struggle as bad as some teams in half court,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I think that they got a chance. And then it's a lot of them. So if somebody ain't playing well, you just can sub them out, and it'll be tough to have for all of them to have an off night. They got enough players that can score to where they can get the job done. They're a well-rounded team, and they have multiple weapons. So you got how many players? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 players averaging over 15 points a game, and actually 16, and that's saying a lot. Then you got 2 more averaging double figures. So you got 6 players scoring in double figures on that team, and it's just offense can come from anywhere.
Yeah, I think what a few people are saying in the chat, man, that they're like the Western version of the Atlanta Hawks a couple of years ago, and I could almost go, agree with that. But I do agree with you, B, that what was missing in the last couple of years was Mike Conley. His health was a factor, and he does seem to be very, very healthy this year because he's playing well. And it was that one game where they just smashed the Mavericks, and he was doing what he wanted from the parts that I saw. So yeah, that could be the missing ingredient, and it would give Donovan some help in the playoffs with some experience as well. So but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
If you compare them to Atlanta, Ken, Atlanta did make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
This
Granted,
is true.
They got swept by LeBron, but they made it to they got there. They got there when a lot of teams and a lot of people didn't really expect them. They knew they was gonna make a run in the playoffs, but they didn't think the Hawks was gonna be Eastern Conference Finals run. So that can happen with Utah. It can really happen with this team.
Yep. shout out to Bauer Howard. He was the one that said that. So we have so I'm gonna go ahead and ask this question, so we'll have time to kind of think about it just in case we do. But it came from Julian again. Julian, who asked the Jazz question, and here's a good one. I like this one. Top 5 overrated players in the league, and I assume that's right now. So so I like that one. Hopefully FIFA will get here
Ooh,
by the time we
man,
get a chance to
yeah,
get to that.
yeah. I need
So
to
yeah,
Yeah.
think about that one.
start working on thinking about it, working on your list.
Top
We'll come back to
5
that
most
one.
overrated players right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Okay.
that's spicy. I like that. Y'all know I
Yeah,
like
that is a good one.
Yep. Let's
Great
see.
question. Great question.
Another one from Julian. You know what, Julian? I got to answer for this right off the bat, and then I'll toss it. Should Blake Griffin retire early or try to make a comeback? Is he hurt now, B? Is he hurt again?
I don't know. I mean, he
No,
played.
he
He
played.
played a couple
He played
games
last
ago.
night.
All right,
Yeah,
so
he been playing. He just
he should retire then. He should retire.
no. I don't think he should retire. I think
He done, B.
No. I don't think Blake should retire. He can't. He got drafted the same time as who's that's still playing in the league that he got drafted. Oh well, damn, Derrick Rose. But no, I think Blake is a great like a fourth option guy on a winning team. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of an example off the top of my head right now. Like what team he will fit great right now. That's why I want Pistons to trade him. Like just trade him, let him go somewhere where he can have a chance to win the title in these last few years because he's definitely a shell of himself. But I'm trying to think of a team that can need like a fourth option like Blake Griffin, man. It's
He'd have been good on this, like maybe with this Miami team.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, he would be perfect on that Miami.
Yeah,
He would be nice on that Miami team. If he go to
pair
Miami,
with Bam. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
With Bam.
yeah, man, yes. Blake would fit. He would be nice, and I'm pretty sure he have a little bit of motivation because he's like, okay, cool. At least I'm on a playoff winning team.
Right.
This team just went to the NBA Finals this past year. You know, maybe I can give him an extra oomph. Oh yeah, Blake would be nice with them, man. He would be nice with them. I like that. So now I don't think he need to retire. Blake still got at least a good solid 2 or 3 years left in him, in my opinion.
I think he should give it up.
You think he should give it up?
Yep. Just go ahead and give it up, bro.
You don't think he can be a factor on somebody's squad, Ken?
Why is that, Ken?
He don't. I don't know, man. I miss the old Blake. And I know I can watch highlights, but I think he's gotten to the point where, well, this season will tell me something, right? So if he manages to get through this season healthy, then I would reconsider my position. But if he gets hurt again, I would think he needs to give it up. I haven't watched as many games as you have, B, maybe. So I can't even really recall what he looks like on the court in terms of his athleticism, his ability to play. But from what I've seen, it hasn't really looked that good. To the point where he can contribute to a team that's competing for a title, absolutely. Maybe coming off the bench as a role player, but that's not how I want to remember Blake Griffin. So he going outside one way or the other.
Yeah, I think he can still play, man. He's good. Blake's still good, man. Like like I said, on a squad like Miami. I know somebody in the Western Conference, or like a Blazers or somebody. Like if he go to Blazers, Blazers would love his services. I think he'll be straight, man. I like I said, I still think he got a good 2 or 3 years left in the can. Because I mean, he still play with us. He just looks so unhappy playing with us. It's just kind of like I'm just here so I won't get fined type of deal, man. So that's why I'm like, man, I'm glad we gave up. We traded D Rose because I didn't want to see D Rose rot the rest of his career with the Pistons, and we're not going in the right direction. We in rebuilding mode. Players like Blake and like D Rose, they shouldn't be on the squads when they're rebuilding. So
now I agree with Ken in the fact that if he gets hurt again anyway, even a sprained ankle, he need to hang it up.
Think so.
That man,
he's been injured too much, man. He's definitely been injured a lot.
That man sprained his ankle. He need to be done.
Hang it up.
He's breaking. He's a shell of himself. Now it's tough to watch because he was one of the favorites and he was so dominant. Jumping over cars and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now can he jump at all?
Right. Yeah. Keep the questions coming. I'm also going to pull up just some of the week's news as well. While I'm doing that, CG asked, If the Nets never win the title, would it boost LeBron's legacy? I don't know what that would have to do with LeBron. I'm trying to
I
figure
guess
out.
because you're saying that they're so strong and maybe to some they're a favorite. I don't think it would at all because they're. I don't know if they're a favorite at all. I mean, they're dynamic offense, but for them to win the title, they need more than that, which we already know. And that team, they lack a toughness and a presence on defense that would help them to get to the point where I think not to say that they can't win the title because they can, but to be favorites, they need something more.
Mm-hmm. If they matched up, if the Lakers played the Nets and LeBron Lakers beat the Nets, then yeah, absolutely. But if they don't ever see each other, then I don't think it would have. I think the only way I could see it impacting is it shows that he can assemble a team, and it works out as opposed to other guys in the league like Durant and Harden and Kyrie. So I think that could help in terms of his leadership, but he would have to beat them to really, really kind of improve his legacy in the finals.
Hmm. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I don't think it would. Yeah, I'm with you, Ken. Like, I don't know what it has to do with LeBron per se, but I never even thought about that. Like, if you say the Nets don't win the championship this year or just ever, just as them being assembled.
I'm assuming this year. I'm taking it as this year.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think it. I don't think it does anything to help LeBron's legacy if they don't win it this year. That's
All
just
right.
me. I mean, I don't even know why, but I didn't. I never thought about that. I never even thought about something like that. Like, I don't think what does the other player has to do with what they should do. I mean, if anything, you need to question the stars that's on that team, like James Harden, or especially him, because he's still trying to get a ring. A lot of his contemporaries been getting rings, except for him. So if anything, we need to question James Harden, if more so than LeBron's legacy or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I'm looking at James Harden funny if they don't win championship.
All right, so this was interesting. So we're going to jump to a bit of news, and I just thought this was interesting, Shelton. As a Sixers fan, Rivers is really getting a lot of credit for Ben Simmons and the way he's playing. And he told the reporters earlier this season that, of course, he didn't care about the shooting as much as a lot of other people did. He thinks he's a great player. He just lets him play, and he gave him the keys, and that's it. So he's cool with him taking 10 threes. He's cool with him getting to the line 15 times. He's just really just at the end of the day letting Ben be Ben, and he's really focusing on winning. And then Ben Simmons said, after victory last month, he's just said Doc keeps it real and he keeps it straight. He wants him to get better, improve, and stay in the gym, continue to work. What was also interesting is that in Simmons' first 3 seasons under Brown, he took 24 3-pointers in 217 games, or once every 9 games played. This season under Rivers, Simmons has taken at least one 3-pointer once every 2.72 games played, by far the most he's launched since entering the league. So, I know you watch a lot of their games, and as they're noting here that his points have dropped, but there's a lot of other things that he's doing to contribute to this team. So, what do you think? How would you assess Doc Rivers' impact on Ben Simmons so far this year?
That's to be determined for me. Playoffs is where we really can see impact more than anything else. Um, he may feel a little more comfortable under Doc. Um, but as far as on court performance, he's doing what he's always done. Um, Gets to the basket and looks to get rid of that thing, and he passes before he shoots. That's what he's always done. So I really don't see my thing for a player like Ben is I want to see some growth. That's my favorite player in the league, pretty much right now. So in saying that, I want to see more from him, and I don't always get that, but they are winning, but I'm just looking for him to be a little bit more of a contributor. I feel where Doc's coming from, but I look at players individually as well, and I want to see individual growth from each player. And I think that for him, his growth curve is just not where it should be. Ben Simmons should be all world at this point with the skill set that he has. And I just don't see him being any better than he was any other year.
Any thoughts on Ben Simmons so far this year, B?
Yeah, I think, and it's amazing how Doc Rivers it's kind of like changing the culture and just the seriousness how Sixers are playing, not only just from Ben Simmons, but from Joel Embiid. Like the fact that he's looking like a top-notch MVP candidate, like one of the top-notch MVP candidates right now in the league, man. And yeah, I think Ben definitely has a sense of like, I guess, new motivation now that Coach Doc Rivers is, since he's been over there. So I mean, I still kind of see the same Ben, the same solid, great passer, great on-ball defender that I've always seen. So I can't necessarily say now, unless he started hitting jump shots and taking elbow jump shots and like that. I mean, I really haven't seen much of his game where I'm like, oh man, he improved there, he improved there. He's still the same, poised, point guard that we've seen from Ben, at least from what I've seen when I watched him play. Nothing really stuck out to me like a sore thumb, just as the fact that Sixers now, it look like they're taking this season a lot more serious. Kind of the same way with the Clippers. It's like, I feel like the Clippers are definitely taking this season way more serious for some reason, just the way they play, their body language. So I'm looking at stuff like that as far as Ben Simmons. But yes, his game, nothing really is like, oh snap, he got that in the arsenal now. No, it's just still the same Ben Simmons. It's just he just got like a new motivation about him, man, the seriousness about him.
And you're right, B. Let me say this real quick. You're right. The biggest difference in Doc is what he's done with Joel Embiid and the maturity there. I'm gonna give Doc credit for that because since, like you said, since he's been here, Joel Embiid been playing like a man child every game.
He really
none of that weak stuff, none of that pouting and getting in trouble. The text, the antics, and all that stuff. He's playing basketball, and that's the biggest difference in this team and this winning. You got solid contribution from Harris. You got him scoring. Shake Milton has stepped up some, and even more so, you bring in Seth Curry, who's that missing piece. That's what JJ Redick. They lost with JJ Redick, that outside shooting and that craftiness. And you got a more well-rounded team than they had last year.
Yeah.
So with that being said, they look the part now, and Ben is doing what Ben does, but his PPG fell off 3 points. So it's not a little bit. That's a good little bit, but that's not to say he can't do it. I just want to see if he can do it in the games they needed him to do it in. Because there's going to be a time when Joel Embiid may get in foul trouble or maybe out for a minute. Will Ben pick up the slack? And he should be able to do that.
Yeah. B, you actually just sparked the question when you were talking about the Clippers. Are there any teams that you guys have been impressed with so far in the NBA? Just that. So impressed or surprised to see them like play, like you said, and it could be like a mindset thing. Like you said, the Clippers have like a tone; they're different. So teams like that.
Them two, yeah. I mean, literally, those are two teams that I've noticed where I'm like, okay, something is different. Something is different about this Clippers team. Like they just play with a different type of aura this year, this season. You know what I'm saying? Like Paul George is playing, and I mean, even you said this, Ken. Like if Paul George plays at this level that we're seeing him playing right now, if this carries on into the playoffs, yeah, the Clippers is gonna be a team, man. They're gonna be a serious team, and just the fact that Ty Lue, they're definitely more committed. They were already committed on the defensive side of the ball. They even more committed on the defensive side of the ball because I feel like they understand. Look, we got guys on the team, at least two of them, that can instantly give us buckets whenever we need it. So if we can play, because we already know Lue is a defensive guy. He wants guys that plays defense. So if the way those guys are playing right now, Clippers, and like I said, they're not chatting, they're not talking, they're just all about business when they're out there playing, man. And they've been winning close games. So they, like I said, them and Sixers to me are like the teams that's like surprising right now how much of difference of body language and just how they're playing and how they're carrying themselves this season so far. With just all doing is switching coaches. All you're doing is just changing head coaches and look how these teams are looking, man. So yeah, I'm really impressed with those two teams right now, man.
Well, let me give you my two. My two are pretty easy too. Phoenix Suns, which they started their journey in the bubble, but with adding Chris Paul, that team just looks really good. They look
That didn't
strong.
surprise me. Yeah, but I get you though. I get you, Shelton. I mean, when they got CP3, I was like, they're gonna be a playoff team. Like it was automatic when I knew.
Yeah, that's the difference, and I guess you can't really count that as a surprise,
right?
But the fact that they're playing it once again, they're playing in all the phases of the game. They look good in. Mm-hmm. So for that team out of all the teams, I'm just really impressed with them that they're holding course. They're fourth in the West, and they got a chance to make a move on the Clippers. They're only a couple games back in the Clippers, so they could technically make some noise in these playoffs as well. And my number one surprise team is the Charlotte Hornets. And it's just remarkable how confident that team is playing. I'm watching the games and I'm seeing a team that believes now. You know what I'm saying? And already LaMelo has paid off. He's putting butts in the seats. If they could be there, they would be there to watch this dude because he's making spectacular plays at least 2 times a game now. And he's doing some nice things. And they're 7th in the East right now. 7th in the Eastern Conference. So with the way this lineup is shaped, and you can't shake it. And I don't know if y'all remember, but Gordon Hayward, I said that was a good move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, off. You did.
It's paying off. And I figured it would. Once again, he just needed a place to breathe. It was kind of claustrophobic in Boston for him because you had so many players that did the same thing that he did. He just needed a little room, and he was still the same player. He just had a hurt leg. So now that he's back, that team looks really good. That team, they're young still, and then they're a couple years away from winning. But as far as this year goes, being 7th in the East, that's a major accomplishment.
I'm really surprised by the New York Knicks because there was a time where you would just expect to see a loss from them. And that's no longer the case. Even though they've started to lose more and more games lately, like the season is catching up to them and, their talent can only take them so far. But I'm less surprised when I see them actually win a game. And I haven't had a chance to watch a lot of their games this year. But because of their performance, I'm really curious to see, how they're going about winning these games. And, could we expect them to take a step forward next year? Has RJ Barrett improved? You guys talk about quickly a lot. I want to see him play and see if it's hype or if it's legit. And I believe y'all. I think it is legit. But, I just want to kind of see for myself. So I'm really impressed with how hard they're playing. And whether or not they're turning into wins night in and night out, it feels like they step on the court to win a game now, as opposed in the past, they were just playing a game to play a game. The other team, the Raptors, man, because remember, the Raptors were terrible to start the season. They could not win a game, and now all of a sudden they're actually a 5th seed at 12-13, but they had a horrible record. It didn't look like they even knew. They didn't even look like the same record, Raptors. Yeah. So for them to turn it around the way they have and to climb all the way to the 5th seed from the bottom, I think is impressive. And even, I'm gonna tip my hat to Gordon Hayward on the Hornets, man. I think he's definitely, in the games that I've seen, he looks like he's back to that white boy that made my top 5 a couple of years ago. And he's climbing. I think he's made you were right, Shelton, and that was a good call because, prior to LaMelo even getting into the lineup, I felt like his presence and what he was doing really made a significant contribution to the team overall. And you could just kind of see it. And, there's no doubt that LaMelo definitely kind of contributed that, bringing probably that youthful energy that he has, that excitability to the organization as well. But they feel a little bit more stable. So yeah, I'm gonna tip my hat to the Charlotte Hornets also. I think they're doing big things. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to the chat here and see what we got. There was one about.
We got a couple super chats.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and hit them.
The first one we got was from, and I saw a couple good questions as well. We're gonna get to was from Marty McFly. What's up, Marty? As always,
What up, Marty?
um, do you buy the Nets can play good enough defense when it counts? I don't get how people can overlook building that foundation. I, me personally, I think they could. They just need some key stops. If they can make key stops at key times as possible for them to be fine, I think they can make the stops when it counts. The only thing that can really stop them is themselves, getting in their own heads and their own ways. They lose a couple games, they got to really hold it together. And you're dealing with a couple guys with egos on that team, and a couple guys who are in their feelings, so to speak. So you really got to have that. Somebody got to step up and just say, "Look, man, no matter what, we got to hold the course. Everything's gonna be fine. Let's just keep playing ball." And if they can do that, they'll be okay. But for the most part, they'll get in their own way before anybody else even gets in their way. But yeah, as far as defense goes, I think that, like I said, if they can make the key stops, DeAndre Jordan can kind of halfway play in the playoffs, they'll be okay.
I wanna add to that, B, and Shelton, you can address this as well. This is from Derek Addison, and I think it ties in with the question also, because he asked, "Has anybody seen anything that shows Steve Nash can coach?" So,
No.
and my answer is no, absolutely not. And FIFO laughed at me. He joked, and everybody when I questioned it myself. But no, I haven't seen anything yet, and I think he would be a factor into Marty's question because he would have to figure out a way to coach or find somebody on his staff to coach a defensive stop at some point in a game.
Yes, because in playoff when playoff ball come, you're gonna need it.
Did Steve Nash even play defense when he played? I don't
No.
recall them teams
No,
playing
Nope.
defense at all anyway.
no.
I think that for me, in my mind, sometimes the head coaching position can be overrated. I think that it's more important. We look at Phil Jackson. He had Tex Winter all those years. Your assistants are sometimes just as important as the head man. The head man is just to keep everybody's heads together. The assistants are the ones who actually coach these teams. These coordinators are the ones who actually put everything together. So, and we're talking about grown men at this point. These guys don't need to be taught defense. They just need to be reminded and motivated to do so. So that's where it's going to come from. Nobody's going to magically come in and put in some superior system to make them play some great defense. They're just going to have to step up possession by possession and say, this one counts, and I'm going to have to play some defense this particular time. And I don't know if that team, once again, they're the type that sometimes they may not be willing to do so. So we just got to wait and see what happens with them and see if they add a couple more pieces. I saw they would bring him back Iman Shumpert. I don't know. Has he played yet at all?
He haven't played. Marshall haven't played in like 2 years, it seemed like.
Well, they signed him to come back to help on defense.
Perimeter,
I don't know.
Yeah, perimeter defense. More like, I could.
Yeah,
but I don't know if Amaya Shepard. I mean, if this was Amaya Shepard from 4 years ago, maybe I would say, okay, that's a great defensive pickup. But I mean, we haven't seen Amaya play in a minute, man.
Yeah, my thing is, I would have taken one of those guys, because they got a couple people, Bruce Brown, a couple of those guys like that, and say, listen, man, your job is going to be that guy. I don't know what they can do. You're going to be the Patrick Beverly of this team. You're going to get on people's nerves. You're going to be the difference on the defensive side of the ball. And that's what they need to do, just convince him to do that, as well as DeAndre Jordan to get back to his old ways of protecting the rim. If you can convince those couple players to play defense like that, that's really all you need. And from there, you do what you do on the outside with the other guys and make it work. But that's what this team needs.
What you think about the Nets, B?
Man,
Marty's question.
Man, they defensively they still concern me, man. Like the way a lot of these teams, like the Wizard team, teams that has no business scoring as many points as they're scoring. Pistons scoring 122 points against them. They defensively they just concern me. Offensively, yeah, of course. when they clicking offensively, especially with all three of them, I mean, yeah, they're going to be a scary team offensively. I mean, yeah, they can score 140 points and they sleep with that squad, but I don't know, man. You know how playoff game, the game slows down, the game tightens up. Everything that lane is a little more crowded now in playoff ball. We've all seen it. So I don't know, man. If they can't get it together defensively, I wouldn't be surprised if they be a second round exit. You know what I'm saying? If they don't get it together defensively. That's the only thing that really concerns me, man. You just can score too easily on this team. I feel like, I can go out there and maybe score like about 8 points. I mean, that's saying a lot for someone who don't play professional basketball. But Jesus Christ, like, I mean, Kyrie, they just don't guard, man. I don't know if y'all been watching these games. They are terrible defensively. Like, they just do not. I just be watching the games and be shaking my head. Now on offense, I'd be like, oh wow, like yo, like these guys here is gonna be something scary offensively. But defensively, it's just like you can't, they score 140 on you, but the team will score 140 points. You know what I'm saying? This is like, damn, like play some D. I'm not saying y'all gotta be 2004 Pistons or no shit like that. But damn, let me see some stops. And like you said, Shelton, hopefully, when they know the game, when it really, really counts, and when they get in the playoffs, maybe, there's some of them players that step up and wake up and be like, yo, we gotta play some defense. But as of right now, what I've been seeing defensively, man, they just worry me. They worry me too much.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm putting together my top 5 list.
I was too.
Yeah, I'm getting ready.
I got another super chat question as well. Thank you for the super chats. We appreciate y'all. Louis Gregoire, I think I said that right. Should the Raps trade Kyle Lowry before he loses value, and if so, to who? It's a good question. If I could put him on a perfect team, for me, it would be a team like I reunited with in LA with Kawhi. That's why I would
that was my Clippers. That was actually my team. If they can somehow trade him, and because I don't think Ty Lue like Lou Williams. I don't think Ty Lue cares for Williams. So I mean, at least in that value of that trade coming back, you got instant offense. But I can see that. I can see Clippers packaging maybe Lou Williams and maybe I don't know how the Clippers didn't the Clippers trade off all their draft picks to get Paul George and
they did. So I don't see how that would work. But
I don't know if you want. I mean, what other player you can probably throw in there for Kyle Lowry? But that would be, man, if he go to the Clippers, that would be nice, man. Like I said, Ty Lue don't care for Lou Williams because Lou Williams don't play no defense. So Ty Lue wants defensive. He wants guys to play defense. You got to play on both ends of the ball on a Ty Lue team. So I can see Lou Williams, package Lou Williams, and maybe it might be 2 players, maybe Kyle Lowry, and I can't think of, maybe just a regular average player for Lou Williams and another average player or something like that. It depends on how the money is. I don't know how Lou Williams contract and how Kyle Lowry contract is, but yeah, I feel like, this is, if you want, I mean, of course, I know Toronto Raptors don't want to trade him maybe because it's like, okay, yeah, he's our guy that won championship with. We had a lot of good years with him, but still, NBA is still a business at the end of the day. And if you can try to get something while the getting is good, because if you hold on to Kyle Lowry too long and then you try to trade him, it'd be like teams wouldn't care. So I feel like right now is the good time to do it while the iron's hot. And Shelton, you took my team. I think the Clippers is good. I can't think of nobody else top of my head, but when I thought of Kyle Lowry being traded, I'm like, oh yeah, take him to the Clippers because Ty Lue don't care about Lou Williams.
Yeah, that's a good peep. Yeah, I agree with you guys, but I think B, you just said a take right there, man. Talking about Ty Lue don't care about Lou Will like that. That's that one almost slipped by. That's an interesting take.
Because Lou Williams, you gotta. I mean, Ty Lue, you gotta play defense, man.
I don't think did he not play the last game or something? Something happened with him playing time wise the last game. I can't remember what it was exactly, but I saw that.
a couple of people have been hurt, so he's been playing a little bit more. But yeah, I think B's right. Like he's kind of been up and down this season with them.
He might have got some bad wings or something.
Let's see. Seb asked, "Will the Mavs make the playoffs?"
No, I don't think the Mavs gonna make the playoffs this year. I know
I'm
it's
a
still
no
kinda
too,
early.
B.
Yeah, I know it's still fairly early in the season, but man, I, I hope they can turn it around. I mean, it would be nice to get Luca in the playoffs. I mean, I'm always for having elite players play in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? The Lucas and the Dev Bookers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want the elite players to be in playoff. I want to see how they are in playoff mode. So yeah, I hope they turn around, but as of right now, I'm gonna say no. I don't think Dallas is gonna make the playoffs. Matter of fact, let me look at the standings and see. Let me see if there's anybody who I feel that might slip that can
The
give Dallas
Spurs
a
could
chance.
slip, but while you looking,
Yeah, the Spurs are the team that I was going to point to, and I was going to say yes. I think they will make the playoffs. The crazy thing about it is they're only 2.5 games out of fifth place in the West, so everything is muddled up in the middle for all these
Oh,
teams
okay.
in the West and the East.
Okay, yeah.
So it's really easy to go on a little run, and they're 12-14 right now. Like I said, they're only 2.5 games behind Portland in the fifth seed. I think
Yeah.
it's really easy for a
I
team like that to
mean,
catch fire.
I don't
nope.
know. Like right now, y'all think so? Out of all these 8 teams that's right now the top 8 teams in the West. So you think Golden State might slip out? You think San Antonio? So you think San Antonio? You say San Antonio can, right?
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah.
I, I was going to say the Spurs too. I worry about Golden State, even though I have a lot of faith in them.
Mm-hmm.
Just injury wise, anything can happen at any point with that team, and it scares me. Golden State.
I don't see Portland slipping out. I don't see Denver
I
slipping out.
think, yeah, I was gonna say, I think Denver's gonna turn it on. I
I
think they're
don't
gonna
think Phoenix
be
gonna
okay.
slip out. I don't think Clippers, LA, and Utah gonna slip out. So it's that's a valid question. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, that's not like oh man, what are you thinking, asking that or whatever. Will the Mavs make the playoffs? Like I said, I know it's early, but I'm gonna go on a limb right now and say no. I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no, and I think even looking at the guys that are like 2 games out with them, the Kings, no, but they have been playing better. But I think if anybody that could take that spot from the Spurs would be the Grizzlies. I think they could sneak in there because the Mavs they just not a good team, and yeah, they're on a bit of a winning streak here and there. They managed to spring together a couple of wins, but from what I've seen, I just don't like the way they play. Luca whining and stuff. But winning cures all. So we'll see if that's the case. But I think Memphis could creep in instead of Dallas. So
Ken, why you say that man was whining? He was not whining.
he was whining during the whole losing streak.
No, he said we can play better. That's what leaders do. Leaders put
Nah,
it on the back of
man.
the team. That's what he's supposed to do.
He was bitching and
Whining,
moaning, man.
whining to me would be going after your teammates saying, man, y'all ain't doing y'all's job, man. They making me look bad. That's whining to me. Complaining about calls, complaining about the situation. What he said was, I take ownership of how I'm playing. I got to do better. I stink. That's
Nah,
what he was saying.
he was whining about the team, and this whole we could play better stuff is. I look at that as a little bit of whining too because they were on a losing streak. His head was down. He had low energy, low self-esteem. He wasn't right in the head. That's not the Luka that I'm used to seeing. I'm used to seeing Luka being positive and upbeat and stuff like that. He was in a funk, man. So I don't know. But he better now that they're winning. Let's see. There was another one I saw here. Oh, the chat moved on me. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, we got another super chat as well. We got a couple super chats. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, y'all. We got a super chat from Weedham Boys. Appreciate you, Weedham Boys. What are your thoughts on Draymond Green? Is he a top 30 player? Not in the least. Not in the
Who?
least right now.
Is who?
Draymond Green.
A top 30
Draymond
player?
Green.
No.
Yes.
No, he's not.
No,
Did y'all see that
not
three? He y'all see what he did?
Yes, I posted
Yeah,
in
you
the chat.
posted it.
I posted in the chat. Yeah. Like,
Draymond Green is just basically a super role player, a glue guy who's average at best.
Tigolo, my dude, man. Tigolo. That's what I'm
no,
talking about, man.
yeah, what happened?
But yeah, Draymond is not a top 30 player. I would like to
No.
make out that list though, but I don't think he would make the list. I think some of these young guns that came in and passed him up. So and I think injuries just caught up with him. He's one of those guys. It's clear as day. Like he'll still be able to go out and do Draymond stuff, but he's really impactful when there's a lot of other good guys around him, and
Mhm.
that helps really pump up and accentuate his talents.
Yeah, he's not top 30.
He's averaging 5 points a game on this team.
5 points a game.
Yes, sir. Draymond Green averages 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Dang. Wow. That's worse than I thought. Let me
Yeah.
read what Tigolo said.
5 points a
But go ahead,
game.
B.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I'm mocking you, but yeah, Draymond's not top 30.
All right, hold on. Where is
Draymond
it?
is that glue guy FIFO talks about all the time.
Damn, chat moving fast.
He said,
Tigolo Kane. Man, you my dude, man. He said that I'm at the point where Brad Stevens might need to go because he thinks he can't handle top level talent.
ooh, and then, hey, okay, so I'm going somewhere else with this. Why are you laughing?
Go
No, because
ahead.
I was thinking about this earlier today. Was I talking to my dad when I thought about this? But anyway, I was thinking, okay, so let's just throw this scenario out here. What if what if the Clippers win the championship this year? Like now, like where do we have to place Ty Lue in the coaching carousel? I'm not saying I'm not doing a Pat Mahomes, no shit like that. Like is he the top 5 greatest coaches ever? But like if he wins a championship with this Clippers team, we gonna have to start like talking about him as far as like the current echelon of coaches right now. Like we have to put him above Brad Stevens because
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
you got to think he coached Cleveland to their first ever NBA title. And if you coach the Clippers out of all organizations to their first title,
Yes.
we gotta start putting some respect on Ty Lue's name, like
Yeah.
for real respect on Ty Lue's name. So yeah, he'd be way past Brad Stevens at that point if he managed to win a championship with this Clippers squad, and maybe we have to put him up there with Spo. You know what I'm saying? Like that'd be crazy, man. If Ty Lue can pull this off, if he can pull this off, within you got to figure within the last within 5 years or 5 years, 5 seasons, he got 2 franchises. He coached 2 franchises their first ever NBA titles, man. Like teams we never would thought that have won championships.
Mm-hmm.
Chris is talking about Ty Lue is just the guy AI stepped over. The whole time he was talking, that's all I could think about, seeing AI stepping over.
That's the play. That's the player Ty Lue. I'm talking about the coach Ty Lue.
Yeah.
Why can't he be better
agree.
than Brad Stevens now? He's beaten Brad Stevens in the playoffs when they matched up.
Yeah, he has.
And he got a ring.
He has. Yeah, we really got to start looking at Brad Stevens a little funny too, because let's not act like these Boston squads haven't been good. I mean, he's had some of these Boston squads that really been some solid teams that he's been having over the last 7 seasons, I guess, if you want to just throw out a number. But yeah, we definitely might have to start looking at Brad Stevens funny in the light, especially if we start seeing, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum starting to blossom into the players that we could imagine them blossom into as far as future superstars in this league, and they still fall up short. They still coming up short in the playoffs. We have to start looking at Brad Stevens a little funny. I mean, and some people are looking at him funny right now. Not even saying in a couple more years, they're gonna look at him funny. It's people that's been looking at Brad Stevens funny for the last 2 seasons, I would say at max.
There's another good comment in the chat from Chris. I was thinking the same thing, Chris. I really was. But you did beat me to it. He compared Ty Lue to Steve Kerr. You know, he getting in on
a good situation.
Yeah, good situation with stacked talent.
I guess mainly I'm just looking at like, dude, this man has put titles for team. The Clippers, out of all organizations, the Clippers, if he managed to coach them into an NBA title, man, that's impressive. That's impressive. That's really impressive, especially after who we consider a future Hall of Fame coach in Doc Rivers was just over there, and look what happened. And then Ty Lue goes there, and what if not this year? What if next year they win the title? Like, I mean, that's impressive, man. That'd be very impressive to do that for this Clippers team that's always been looked at, has been the laughing stock of the NBA, always been considered the worst luck or whatever.
Right.
The stepsons in LA, as far as the LA teams or whatever, the last forgotten, and you win a title with that team, that's impressive.
So if they win the title this year, would they still be like the stepsons in your opinion? Or
I mean, of course. I mean, compared to the Lakers,
yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if the Clippers can win a championship this year and next year, they're still gonna be the 4th or 5th most important team in LA. Like, you still got, the Lakers. Hell, you still got the Dodgers. Hell, you even got USC is still kind of like more popping than the Clippers or whatever. So it's like Clippers are still. The Clippers are gonna still kind of be like the afterthought of LA, regardless if they win.
LA,
yeah, it's the teams. These other LA teams have cemented too much legacy for the Clippers to come in and win one championship and be like, oh, look at them now. They're gonna still be looked kind of frowned upon a little bit,
Right.
Title.
I think we had another. From Marty McFly. Thank you, Marty. There is play-in games for 7 through 10 seeds this year.
Oh, that changes things.
So they really about to go with that. I think they had tried that out in the bubble. So I think I thought that was just a bubble thing. So I think they might kind of start going with that maybe. That'd be interesting.
So they got so they just need, so maybe, I mean, because they changed the rules.
Dallas will make the playoffs then, really.
Yeah. They're kind of cheating, but yeah, they can still make the playoffs.
Right. Well, I know a team not making the playoffs with that format, the Washington Wizards. Shout out to Nicky Ducey.
Hey man, I looked at that. That's really a bad team, bro.
Who, the Wizards?
Yes. Have you really looked at that roster?
Yes. I mean,
it's
you don't look. You need to be saying this to Nick. You don't need to be saying this to me.
I know, but
laughed at Nick.
Yeah, that's why Nick hung out.
I mean, my God, man. When I look, I'm like, man, it's really Bradley Beal, or sometimes it'll be Russell Westbrook. FIFO's getting off. FIFO will be here in about 5 minutes, y'all. And then we'll do some of our top 5 overrated. But yeah, and I got my list together. But yeah, man, like, that's really a bad team. And I really want to know why he thought they would win 50 games. I must have missed that. But they're horrendous, bro.
That's because Nick was being Nick, man. Nick just be saying stuff, man. He be on his back doing this shit for real sometimes. I'm like, you don't believe half the stuff you say.
Yeah, if you guess 10 times at something, one of those times you're gonna be right, and you'll look like a genius. So that's the it's like the lottery. You know what I'm saying? You put your numbers in and hope that they work. That's what Nick does.
Yep.
Darryl Brown said that. Yeah, Darryl Brown said that Luka admitted himself that he was whining.
I saw that, but I skipped past that. I said that I didn't see.
Oh man. So anyway,
he said complaining. He didn't say whining.
I mean,
Hey, Tigalo hit us with another. Is it Tagalo or Tigalo? Tell me in the chat if I'm saying your name right.
I said Tigalo, like Fonte. Tigalo.
I think it's Tagalo.
I think it's Tigalo. I'm thinking hip hop.
Me too.
So say which one is right and which one is wrong. Anyway, Tigolo hit us up with another super chat. Top 5 coaches in 2021.
I like that one. Okay, we'll do that when FIFO get here too. So that's good when I start working on my list. And so we'll talk about when FIFO get here. We'll talk about LaMelo. We'll do these top 5s too, and then I'm going through the chat to see if there's anything. Was there anything you guys seen throughout in the news this week that caught your eye that you want to talk about?
I think we kind of talked about this a lot in the chat. Really, it was Kevin Garnett saying that he didn't think players from 20 years ago can play in the league today.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't see that article? I mean, I think I posted it.
Yeah, you did. I saw it, but I just
didn't pay no attention. You just skimmed it and was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to read it. I meant to go back and read the article. But what was his thought process behind that?
It was an interesting. He said something to the extent of like, players now can't hand check, so it's gonna be really easy for them. He's saying the guys that played 20 years ago are so used to playing defense, hand checking, that they won't be able to play defense like really that well because of the hand checking. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, that reason is the reason why we say like a player like Jordan will score more points in today's league because of no hand checking. Jordan was used to hand checking. Everybody was hand checking Jordan when he was playing the league. And now if Jordan like, oh shit, you can't hand check me? Yeah, I'm gonna average 45 a game easily. You know what I'm saying? So I think for that reason, a lot of this, at least the superstars for that matter, can still play in this league. I think a Paul Pierce would be able to play a prime Paul Pierce would still be able to play in this league just fine because of hand checking, because of no hand. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. And I respect KG's opinion big time because I mean he's a guy that's, he's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy that's played in this league and that was a superstar in this league for many years. So I mean, I would assume that he knows what he's talking about. But for someone from the outside looking in and, being the basketball lover that I am, you know what I'm saying? And, I didn't play at no professional level. I played in the AAU level. That's about the highest basketball level I played. But I don't know about that one, KG. That's interesting that he says that because I think, because of no hand checking, guys that are used to physical play that still scored 20 a game with more physical defense. Now you take that physical aspect away, them guys can still score. Now, granted, yes, of course the game has evolved. The guys are faster, guys are taller. We didn't have no KD-like player back then. You know what I'm saying? That was like a freaking a alien. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James is practically damn near like Karl Malone, but just that can move like a point guard. So it's just like, yeah, the evolution of players, yes, that's changed, but you take the physicality of it, and these players can still play 20 years ago. They can play in this league today. T-Mac will have a field day.
Bro, yes, he would.
You know what I'm saying? Like T-Mac played during the KG era. So 20 years ago, T-Mac, Vince Carter will have a field day scoring with no hand checking in today's NBA. So
I think that may have just been his way of saying that the guys of today are soft. Like, yeah, we couldn't play with y'all because we'd be beating y'all up. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
You know what? That's a good. You know what? I never looked at it that way. But the way KG was wording it, he just made it seem like, oh no, these players are faster. They out here breaking your ankles more and all that little stuff. I'm like, what? Like KG?
But here's
basketball evolves and you play according to how the game is played. They change the rules. You're just gonna change with it, and them guys could do all that same stuff.
Right. What was you about to say, FIFO?
Not to the same level though. Like because part of evolution is taking what was there before you and improving upon it. And if you improved upon it, that means that the era that you improved upon isn't as good as what you are. Like the kids coming out today, and I said this years ago, it's been documented because I say it all the damn time. The talent in the NBA has never been higher. Like across the board, you could go watch the Sacramento Kings. Them motherfuckers they ain't winning. We could attribute that to a lot of different things, but there's a lot of teams that have tremendous talent. And I think that there are generational guys, regardless of era, they can play. KG can play in this era. Would he be as dominant or less dominant or more dominant? Who knows? But we know KG getting 25 and 12 a game in this era. He can do a lot of what the guys are doing now. And because of what they're doing now, he would have more of a three-point shot. We know he was money from 15 to 18. We know that. Why can't he shoot a three-point shot? Chris Bosh did it. I think KG's a better player than Chris Bosh. You know what I'm saying? So I think that there is a level of truth of what he's saying. I think those end of the bench guys, those guys, the guys that were on the fence previously in his era have no chance in this era.
I mean,
I'm gonna have to
he
go
should have
back in.
specified that then, because I just took it as he was saying players from 20 years ago, as in including him and other superstars in the league wouldn't be able to play in today's NBA. That's how I took it.
B. Shelton and Kent. Don't y'all think that players today at a younger age have more of a defined skill set? They're better shooters, passers, dribblers of the basketball. Maybe the IQ and the toughness isn't there, but the fundamental skill, they're playing
Not 20 years ago. I don't think 20 years ago it was that far off. I just really don't. I think that, like, looking back, and I'm trying to think of some 12 mans from 20 years ago.
Because you look at T-Mac,
They weren't.
T-Mac.
No, wait, hold on. I'm not saying that there were zero players. I'm not saying that, right? I just said KG could come in this era of basketball at his prime and dominate. What I'm saying is that the volume of player now, meaning that there's just more players now that have the requisite skill set that a whole bunch of players did not have back then. There's more guys that have it now than had it back then.
I don't think it's that many.
Yeah,
Kyle Lowry ain't playing in the league back then.
He is.
I don't think so though, people. Like I said, those guys from 20 years ago, the year 2000, those guys were more skilled. If you ask me, you look at the list. You know, from Kobe to Tim Duncan to Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash.
Hold on, in 2000, those guys were young. So let's not reimagine the prime version of Kobe winning championships. That's Kobe.
That's still. Yeah, 2000 Kobe was still. I'm talking about as far as the skill set was still there. Even though he was younger, he was still there. You know what I'm saying? He was still killing, and he was still doing what he do. Dirk Nowitzki could do. You know, he was magical with the ball still.
Dirk
Steve
took
Nash,
some time. What I'm saying is that the kids today can cook a lot earlier than those guys of that time. Steve Nash struggled, Kobe struggled, Dirk Nowitzki struggled, but you got guys like LaMelo coming out, right? LaMelo don't look like he's struggling like those guys struggled. He has a more advanced skill set day one than a lot of those guys did. Not saying that those guys weren't great, but they weren't doing what he's doing right now as early as they're doing it.
Yeah, but you told me that Melo was playing against grown-ups a lot, so
he was.
That's gonna factor into him being
Correct.
Okay, fine.
And Iverson did it when he came out.
100%. I'm not saying that there aren't anomalies, and I'm not saying that those guys aren't great. I'm saying that those guys are great. I'm just saying that they didn't become the Hall of Fame players that we know as quickly as some of these guys are even becoming all-stars. Is the only point I'm making. They're just more ready now because they've played basketball longer. Back in that day, right? Like Kobe grew up overseas. Kobe was born overseas. He didn't have the AAU circuit to the degree that we have it now. He wasn't training to the degree. Like high school kids have trainers now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Think about the hyperbaric chamber. Just think about in the last 20 years, the advancement of recuperation, of technology to take care of your body. These kids are growing up with that. They have an advantage. I'm not saying that those guys couldn't compete. I'm just saying that these guys are competing quicker, faster now than those guys did. They're percolating. They're just a more ready-made product coming out because of the time that's being put in.
Yeah, we are in the microwave society, and those guys are coming out fast, and they are coming out of the blocks pretty quick. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Even looking back further, it takes a couple years to get accustomed to NBA lifestyle for most, except for now. Now, you are right. Most of them have to come in ready almost to play day one. And if you're not playing.
KJ said just because you have a trainer doesn't mean you're better.
No, I'm not saying I'm not okay, look, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 in this scenario. It's a combination of it's a combination of this era is basically what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's just you're putting in more time. You're perfecting your craft a lot earlier in this era than you were back then. Think about like, and I'm taking, I know a little, just slightly back, but Charles Barkley didn't start playing real basketball to high school. He ain't had no AAU. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys were not defined when they got into the league. And I'm not saying that these guys are. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they're more ready to compete at a higher level.
Are you talking about those that make it to the NBA? Because a lot of those guys play a lot of AAU and we don't ever see them.
No, of course I'm talking about the ones that make it to the NBA. Anthony Edwards. I was been telling y'all this guy is gonna be a beast when he comes to the league. Beast. I told you.
Yeah, but when they fall into the regular pool of the elite NBA player, not elite, but meaning the few men or women in the USA or globally that can make the NBA, like it's only of course 500 or so, right?
Of course, no. But Ken, what I'm saying is, out of that 500, 300 are at a higher level than 20 years ago. Is all I'm saying. That there's more guys at a higher. Look. Even Anthony Edwards' college coach, he coached Dwayne Wade. He said Dwayne ain't have half of what you have at this age. And when you look at him play, he looks like D Wade now. He's a rookie.
See, D Wade was a late bloomer though.
He was.
D Wade himself was not expected to do what he did. So I don't really count D Wade.
He still went top 5 in the draft.
But the question is, can Anthony Edwards get to D Wade level?
It shall be seen. But what we see right now.
But what happens if he don't?
If he don't, he don't. People flame.
But then then him saying he had D Wade didn't have that kind of washes itself out, right? Doesn't it cancel out?
Because again, it's a multitude of factors, and a lot of it has to do with Anthony Edwards himself, the things that you cannot measure. Now, by all accounts, everybody says he has that, and you see what he's doing as a rookie. Mm-hmm. So he has something inside of him that pushes him to be great. But as of like starting off the starting block, he got a lot more than a lot of rookies have in terms of skill set. Look at the man's ball handling.
I can't say that though, FIFO, because a lot of these guys, they have no defensive skills whatsoever. These players from 20 years ago are more well-rounded. They played offense and defense. These guys can do some spectacular things, but as far as a skill set,
that's part of toughness, though.
Come out and he flashes. Don't get me wrong. Like even Anthony Edwards, for example, he flashes, but is he ready? Not to lead a team. He's not even close to being ready to be a leader.
But how many of those guys? KG wasn't ready. As great as KG was his rookie year, KG wasn't ready, huh?
He flashed though.
Of course,
it's the same thing. It's the same scenario.
But Shelton, but you're just proving my point of my theory of 3 to 5. It takes 3 to 5 years to know what really a guy is, regardless of wherever he starts.
Well, KJ also makes another good point, which is kind of what I was saying. Peaking earlier doesn't mean you peak higher.
No,
I know you're not saying that. But when you got a guy that says D Wade didn't have that, like when you have the skill set, but if you don't reach peak D Wade level, then what's the point?
Of course.
So
but Ken, look, at the end of the day, the whole draft and the whole young player thing is all about potential. It's not about what they are today. It's about what they're going to be year 5 through 7.
But they're talking about who can play in the NBA.
Yeah,
the question is what KG is talking about.
Okay, so if we're looking at other guys in their prime now, right? Like who was doing what Steph is doing? There was not one other guy, but in today's league, we got about 3 or 4 guys.
1% player in the league. He's like the elite of the elite.
But now we're talking that there's multiple guys that mirror Steph Curry's game.
Who's the guy in Denver? You think that guy in Denver couldn't do that?
My move, Chris Jackson. My move, I do.
Yeah, there's one.
Okay. Hey, how many more can do that?
I'm giving you one.
That's one.
1 for 1.
There's only one in the NBA now.
Yeah,
Dame is up there. There's not a Dame in 20 years ago.
But the game was different. It's not that they couldn't shoot it.
But that goes to did that.
Huh?
Rod Strickland could do that.
He wasn't a shooter like that.
Rod Strickland could shoot the ball.
If you told me Dan Marley, I give it to you. Dan Marley was the only other dude shooting with range like that.
No, not Rod Strickland wasn't. He didn't have range like that though. Like he can shoot the ball. I give you
mid range.
He was He was not a 3-point shoot. He wasn't cashing 3 points like that.
Nope.
Rod Strickland was deadly, bro. Let me.
I'm not saying
No,
he wasn't.
no,
I
he was
studied Rod
deadly.
Strickland.
Yes, he was deadly, but he wasn't deadly from the three. He was definitely a deadly player. Yeah.
Let me see his 3-point percentage. Let me see.
But you also,
You gotta look at volume too.
yeah, and range.
Yeah.
You know, Ray Allen didn't play with that type of range.
The game was played different. Players back then was like,
Ray Allen could shoot. Ray Allen was the greatest shooter of all time.
And young Ray was dumb athletic too.
But B made a good point, probably because of the way the game was. For some of those players, we didn't get to see it either.
Yeah. Yeah. Players like, man, I wish I had the green light back like I see these players now the way I did.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have 3-pointers too.
Of course, there's guys that would have played better in this era. Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, Gilbert Arenas. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of players that their games were a little too early to where the NBA was at that time. You know, but at the end of those guys were skillful too. The only point I'm trying to make is that there's guys that are more skillful at a lot earlier age. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Whether they become better or not, you know, but at the end of the day, the top percentile, the guys that are difference makers in a game, there's more of them. They're faster, stronger, and more skillful earlier on.
You got Embiid, you got AD,
Joker, Jamal Murray, Dame Lillard, CJ McCollum. Game changers. I'm looking at,
like, if you told me bigs, then maybe because you got Karl Anthony Towns, because I think that's an evolution of the game. So those guys are more skilled.
Joker is the evolution of the game. That a player like
Joker's Arvydas Sabonis.
Yeah,
he was old. Remember when he came to the league?
But Joker's a better passer than Arvydas.
Yeah,
Arvydas was an amazing passer.
But we didn't see young Arvydas like that, though.
Yeah, not in the NBA.
He didn't. His prime years was overseas.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Joker brings it up and does it as well. I'm trying to look at the draft in 2000.
At one point, I think Joker right now, he was leading the league in assists per game. I think he's second now, but yeah, I mean, for him to be a center and to be top 3 in assists per game, that's something we never seen since shit.
Hey, Shelton, Wu Young kind of agree with you, bro. He said point guards weren't given the license to shoot back then. The archaic idea that they had to run the offense was still around. Rod would go crazy with the green light of today.
Right.
Yeah, but he would be more Kyrie without a 3.
He was a mid-range guy. If he fell now, we'll give you this one thing, boy. Looked like this 2000 draft was awful. Wow. These guys were trash now. I ain't gonna lie.
Look, if you look at the next 5 years of that, from the 2000 to 2005, right? Obviously, 2003 is an amazing draft. But the rest of those drafts, come on, man.
Tigolo said Chuck Hayes would be shooting threes.
Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, Chuck Hayes. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Tigolo. Chuck Hayes lighting up right now.
That man couldn't shoot a damn free throw.
I remember.
Man, when y'all get a chance, look at this 2000 draft.
I already know. Is that Bargnani going number 1? Is that the Bargnani draft?
That's when Kenyon Martin went number 1. Kenyon Martin was 1. Stromile Swift was number 2.
Yeah, I remember Stromile Swift.
I remember Stromile too. Darius Miles was 3.
Darius Miles, yeah.
Marcus Fizer. I remember I like Marcus Fizer.
See, look, like Darius Miles is the prime example. Super athletic, can't teach the length, right? Up and down player. What skill set did he have? He couldn't really dribble the ball. He ain't had no back to the basket game. He ain't had no jump shot. He ain't had no handles. He ain't had no passing IQ. What he had? He was a top 3 pick.
The 2000s, the early 2000s was a transition period for
Ken. And then thank you for proving my point.
You know,
Joel Prisbilla was a number 9 pick.
Who?
Joel Prisbilla.
Joe.
He had a nice career.
Yeah, he got them checks.
Now Jamal Crawford was in this draft.
Yeah.
And then he could still drop 50.
Chris Mim was drafted 7, above Jamal Crawford.
Come on.
Mike Miller was 5.
I mean, we're not talking about that
look
specifically.
Hold on. Look. Let's do this.
Mateen Cleaves was a 14.
Ooh.
Shelton.
I liked him, though. When
Look up all of the even number drafts. I'm going to look up the odd numbers. I'm going to look at 2001 now. Let me look at this 2001 NBA draft.
After looking at 2000, I don't want to look at no more. That was bad. That was bad. I would have just been like, let's scrap the draft this year.
Okay, so in 2001, you want to know who the number 1 pick was?
Olowokandi.
Kwame Brown, Tyson Chandler, Paul Gasol, yes, super skillful. Eddie Curry, Jason Richardson, Shane Battier. If you look at the guys coming out today, Shane Battier, great player. Did he have dribble? Did he have passing ability? Was he a playmaker? No. Great defender.
He was a senior too, FIFO.
I know.
Which is different. I understand that's different.
No, I feel that. But what I'm saying is he was one of the better players of his
How far
era.
back we going? So this era.
That's 2000.
So I know you're in the 2000s. So we're talking about 20 years ago. So who are we comparing them to? Where will we start with this?
My point is this. All of the names that I just named, those are like the top 5, top 6 picks in the draft, right? They cannot do half of what this draft class can do from a skill perspective. They just can't. Tyson Chandler, Eddie Curry, and Kwame Brown can't do half of the stuff that James Wiseman can do.
All right, so I went to 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but now we're closer to 2020.
I just want to compare the players.
Okay.
You know, because you got Karl Anthony Towns, we know number 1, D'Angelo, cool, Jaleel.
Yeah, but
Chris Stapps.
Of course, but we're so much.
So now I can't.
No,
finish.
but Ken, that's not 5 years and 20 years is a big difference.
Because you're naming
bump. No, but
you have bump players too.
Ken, the difference is that from 20 years ago, that's 18. That means that 18, 19. Those are the guys that would have been in the league now. You can't go 5 years ago, bro, and compare it to the guys now.
Why not? They're in the league.
No, but that's closer in era. That's closer in AAU. That's closer in what I'm talking about.
These guys are not
proving my point.
I'm not. I'm comparing some of these bum ass players.
We said 20. What KG said? 20 years ago or 5 years ago? What did he say?
20 years.
So why are you going 5 years, Ken? Because that proves my point of this era of basketball.
Because I'm showing you that there are bum players in every goddamn league. So for everyone that you name, I could probably name one from 2015.
Hell no. Not as many as I can name.
I don't know, man.
Not as many?
Yeah.
Not as many?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not talking in absolutes, people. I'm not talking in absolutes. What I'm saying is that there's more bums 20 years ago than there are now.
So have we seen any? So we haven't seen much out of some of these guys that's in there now from this year. But let's go back to last year.
The top 3 picks look like the top 3 picks. Cole Anthony looks super nice in Orlando.
I do like him. But I don't think that's fair to start with 2021.
But Ken,
let's go with some guys that's had a year.
20 years ago. I'm going off of what KG said. You the one moving the goalposts.
I'm trying to go with guys that have had a full year so we can look at them and make a comparison, a real comparison.
And then it's compared to the people 20 plus years ago. You don't compare the guys 5 years ago.
Let's go to the 2003 draft because I think 2001. They must have had COVID or something back then. We didn't know nothing about it. 2003, we had LeBron at number 1. Darko was number 2 that year, and Carmelo was number 3. Chris Bosh was 4. Dwayne Wade was 5. Now, when you talk about skill set, these guys all had skills. They all did.
I gave you 2003 though.
That's not 20 years ago. So you got to start at 2000.
2002 NBA draft class. Yao Ming, skillful, could play in this NBA, yes. Jay Williams, skillful, I'll give you that. Mike Dunleavy was a shooter. And it took him about 3-4 years before he even became a rotational player. Drew Gooden, would he even play in this NBA? Would he be drafted top 5? Drew Gooden? I don't think so. Nicolas Skidishvili. I remember that because I remember playing the damn 2K and hearing that damn name. DeJuan Wagner, flamed out. Skillful, but flamed. Nene, very skillful, would play in this NBA. But even Nene was raw when he came out. Like, he wasn't even that skilled. Like, it took him a little bit of time to develop all of that, coming from Brazil. Chris Wilcox wouldn't be drafted in this league. Caron Butler, I'll give you that. Jerry Jeffries would be drafted because of the size and the potential. And then that's about it. Juan Dixon.
Look at 1999, though, FIFO. 1999,
okay.
You had Elton Brand drafted number 1. I think he could have played because he's a pick and pop kind of guy, and he can shoot it a little bit from the elbow. Stevie Francis would have been able to play in today's NBA.
He would have. Baron Davis too.
Baron
Lamar
Davis
Odom too.
Sure. Lamar Odom for sure.
And
Jonathan Bender would have been able to play in today's NBA as well.
No, I think he would have got drafted, but I think the same thing would have happened. I think he would have flamed out.
That.
Either way,
Wally Zerbiak would have been a shooter. Rip Hamilton, what you think about Rip Hamilton playing B today?
He could have played. He would have just had to shoot more threes than what he did, but he could play today.
Yeah, but his game was mid-range though.
He would have had to change it.
Andre Miller would have been a solid point guard today.
Yep.
He played both ends of the floor.
Sean Marion
played. Blocking Brockton right there. Andre Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Minus the 50, 40, 90 though.
Yeah.
Because Andre Miller ain't shoot like that.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Mm-hmm. Sean Marion would have been able to play in today's NBA because he played multiple positions. So he was like positionless.
Now this is a good draft to compare to today's age because I think Trajan Langdon would have made it in this league.
Mm-hmm. Jason Terry for sure.
Yeah, I had high hopes for Trajan Langdon, man.
Me too.
I thought he was going to be a great, at best, at least an all-star, like a two-time star in the league or something like that.
No, sir.
James Posey would have made the league because you're talking about a small forward, two-way guy. 3-and-D type of guy. Andre Karolinko, he would have made this league. No, that's not the right guy.
Corey McGrady would have been all right. Deion Glover could shoot as well. Deion Glover was nice. He played with the Hawks. He was out of Tech.
What's his name? I don't want Meta World Peace. What the hell?
Ron Artest?
Ron Artest.
Yeah, Ron Artest.
Ron Artest could have played in this league too.
I like Montego.
In today's league?
Yeah.
No, because they today's league is not. They ain't as physical as it. Ron Artest a physical ass dude.
No, I know. I think he would have adjusted. I think Ron Artest is one of those guys. I think Tony Allen could have played today.
Yeah, that's Draymond-ish. That's how you got to be is today's Draymond. Mm-hmm. And just be a pest. You don't have to be as physical.
Ron Artest was Ron Artest was crazy.
He was.
I think players like him and like Rodman, they ain't gonna adjust. They not gonna adjust. They like, look, you gonna take me for what I am, or you just not gonna take me at all.
Yo, let's look at the '98 draft. Michael Olowokandi, hell no. Mike Bibby, he would have played. Rafe LaFrance, he would have played. Lefty, big man shooter.
Yeah.
Antoine Jameson.
Vince Carter. Robert Tractor Trailer. Hell
Rest
no.
in peace.
Yeah, I love him.
He wouldn't have played in today's league.
Larry Hughes would have. Dirk, obviously. Paul Pierce, obviously. Bonzi, yes.
Bonzi Wells. I remember Bonzi Wells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Michael Doliak, possibly because he had a solid 15-footer. I remember him playing for Orlando. Keon Clark, I would say yes because he was inconsistent, but he could shoot and he was rangy. Matt Harpering, yes. Ricky Davis, yes. Tyronn Lue, maybe. That's about it.
Let's get to those two top fives, Ken, that you mentioned before FIFO got here.
All right. So we had two FIFO. You already know about the overrated. So we also had a question about top 5 coaches currently in the NBA right now.
Top 5 coaches?
Yeah. So y'all want to do that first and then close out with the overrated?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So y'all got y'all coaches together? Anybody got theirs?
I mean, they don't have to be ranked and under.
No. You could just be 5. I got Nick Nurse. I know they're struggling, but he can coach his ass off. Mike Malone is on my list. Who's the Jazz coach? What's his name?
Quinn Snyder.
Quinn Snyder? Yeah. He nice too. So that's 3. I'm throwing Doc Rivers on there too, man. I think even though he's had some failures in the playoffs, for what he's doing in Philly, man, to change that team around, I mean, it's showing that he at the end of the day, he can coach. And then I'm sticking with Pop, man. I'm going with Pop.
Okay.
So those are my 5.
I'll go next. Give me Coach Spo. I think very underrated.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets enough credit.
Mhm.
And I got 3 of the same like you: Nick Nurse, Mike Malone, Quinn Snyder, Steve Kerr.
I got Quinn Snyder, Spo, Nick. I agree with Ken. Nick Nurse, he can coach his ass off. Doc Rivers and Dwayne Casey. We need more black in here. We need more black. We need more black. We need more black in the list, man. Dwayne Casey. Let's not forget what he did in Toronto.
I got one on my list. You got one. I got one.
I got 2 actually.
Oh, who
I got
else?
Doc and Dwayne.
Oh, I definitely got to put. You go ahead. I'm gonna have to modify my list. I forgot about Spo.
You got to put Spo in there,
Yeah.
I
baby.
got to put Spo.
Oh yeah, you gotta put you gotta put Spo.
Yeah.
In. Got to.
Give me Spo, Nick Nurse, Popovich, Doc Rivers, and give me Ty Lue. I'll take Ty Lue right now.
I wrote his name down. I did.
He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. So I took out Mike Malone and I'm putting Spo in there.
Oh man, I'm sorry. What's my man's name in Phoenix?
Monty Williams.
Monty Williams. Take out Ty Lue, put in Monty Williams.
That's
Oh
all.
yeah, I forgot Monty Williams is
I
coach.
forgot. I
I
completely
forgot he's
Monty.
coaching Phoenix. That's a good coach to have over there.
I don't know how I
about
forgot it. But yeah, take out Ty Lue, put in Monty Williams for me.
Hey FIFO, what made you put Steve Nash in there?
Steve Kerr.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve Kerr. Never
Oh,
mind.
I was about to
Never
say.
mind.
Yeah,
Never mind. I
Nash.
thought you had put Steve Nash in there.
Steve Kerr.
What? Nobody have Brad Stevens?
Nah.
Nope.
All right, man.
Nick probably would have.
Oh man, yeah, Monty's a good pick, man. I like the representation. No love for Frank Vogel. No love for
LeBron
Frank
coach.
Vogel.
We should have put LeBron in that list.
So you put LeBron across the board: GM, coach, player.
I think folks, FIFO said it best when he described Lou. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and that's it. I think he's done a good. Vogel could always coach. We saw it in Indiana, so it wasn't coaching wasn't really ever a thing. You give him talent, he's gonna coach it up. But without talent, as most coaches would, he's gonna struggle. So somebody said Kerr is questionable, bro.
He is questionable. Nick would definitely have Scott Brooks on his list too.
the 50-win coach.
Scott Brooks is horrendous. Like
he always has been.
Yeah. I used to jump on him a lot. Him and who was the other guy I used to get on? Billy Donovan.
Yeah, I used to get on Billy Donovan all the time.
Yep.
So
Anyway,
FIFO what is your response to Steve Kerr is questionable?
I don't think Steve Kerr is questionable. Obviously he's won championships and he's always made all of the adjustments needed to win. Every series. Every time that they needed something, he gave them that something. He always gave them that adjustment. And you're seeing, okay, he doesn't even have all his guys, and look at how they're playing. Now, obviously, they're not the record setting 73-19. I'm not saying that.
Peace out, Chris.
Huh?
Chris was dipping out. Just shout out.
But yeah, like he's been able to again just make all the right coaching decisions.
All right, let's get into this top 5 overrated players, man. So I want to do this a little different. We're not gonna just list our 5. We're gonna each list
Go
one.
around the room.
Yep. So we're gonna start with you, B. Give me one guy from your list.
All right. Yeah, this is gonna rough some feathers. Now, granted, overrated does not mean we're calling these players whack or bad.
Right.
Or anything. Overrated is like you don't think that person is rated as high as people or most majority of what folks rank them high as. And I gotta say Zion.
Mm.
Gotta
No,
say
it's pretty
Zion.
close.
They got Zion. People ranking Zion super high right now. Granted, even though I got him like as my top five, in my top five power forwards, but like people ranking him over a lot of players that I feel he shouldn't be ranked over.
I feel you, B.
So yeah, I
Dang.
gotta go. I gotta go Zion.
I
He
feel you,
kicking
B.
it, starting it
Yeah.
off.
People pinning him as like the next coming of.
But why you say that though, B? Why do you say it
Why do I say what that he's
that
overrated?
he's overrated?
Just the fact that, like I said, I think people have him ranked higher than what he should be. Like, I'm trying to give an example. I'm trying to think of an example.
I'll tell you why I say he is. He wasn't on my list, and I wasn't gonna say him because it's the hometown kid, well, home state kid.
Mhm.
He with Brandon Ingram there, it's just kind of hard for him to be him, even though he's getting his points. Is he the first option right now? You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of hype he gets. So that's really what it should be, but he's not there yet. And I'm not saying he's not gonna get there because I
Yeah,
think he will.
right. He
It's
probably
just
ain't gonna get there, but right now, yeah, he's not that guy. He put butts in seats, but
mm-hmm.
that's about it.
And I need a little more than 7 rebounds a game too. I just need more.
Okay. All right. Show. What you got, bro? Give us one.
I'm gonna say Kimba first.
Kimball
I think
Walker.
I think Kimba Walker, coming from the player he was in Charlotte, where a lot of the focus and attention was on him, I thought that going to a place like Boston would be easier for him because he didn't have as much pressure to produce. I wanted him gone a long time ago in Charlotte. I was really glad when they got rid of Kimba because I felt like they just couldn't win with him. I thought it was a little undersized. He wasn't really a factor on defense. He was a decent leader, but I just felt like we were better served blowing it up and starting over. But I felt like going to a place like Boston, they could rely on his shot if you needed him in the fourth quarter, because he played 4 quarters in Charlotte. He did. I thought that we'd get a lot more from him. And right now it's been just one mishap after the other. He hadn't played well in the playoffs, and he just hadn't really showed up to be that guy that he was before. He's a shell of himself right now. So yeah, Kimba is overrated right now. He's not good.
But is he ranked hot? Dude, is he rated high? Like people, I don't think Kimba. People really look at Kimba and be like, "Oh, this dude is like this high ranked level of player now."
Well, he's still considered one of the top players. Kimba should, I don't know what his game average is, but he was a 20-point per game scorer. And so in saying that, he was still respected in the league as far as where he was. So I think he's overrated in the sense that, once again, he's not where he should be and where we would think he would be if you're thinking about Boston and what he brings to the table. Because when you mention Boston, when you talk about them, he's one of the pieces that you'll talk about as a reason for their success. In your brain, you'll say, well, they're good because they got this and they got this. They got Tatum, they got Brown, and they got Kimba. But he's not that. So because he's not in that top 3 like that, he's not making that a big 3. He's a letdown. It should be a big 3.
FIFA.
I think this might ruffle some real NBA fans' feathers. But I'm gonna say Nikola Vucevic from Orlando, and the only reason I got 2 guys like him on my list. I say he's overrated only because he has amazing numbers, and I know he's a damn good player, but it don't translate to wins. You know, he's the long-standing Orlando Magic lifer after Dwight Howard, and he's been putting up 2010. But where the hell are the Orlando Magic? Like, you could be, it's something to be said to be good on a bad team, but it's like he has not helped them elevate to anything. And again, that's why I said I know I'll ruffle some real NBA fans, because when you watch him play, the man got skill. You can't just average 2010 in the NBA and be a bum. Like that doesn't happen regardless of how bad your team is. But it does not translate into winning basketball. So he's overrated to me.
All right, so I
I'm
doubt
gonna give you a hot take on him, FIFO. I think he'll be traded to Charlotte by the trade deadline.
It's like 5 years too late. Like they should have and for the players' sake, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not even like an Orlando thing. Well, it is an Orlando thing. They haven't been able to build nothing around them.
you
So
did ruffle some feathers.
no, I knew I was. But again, like B said originally, this is not saying he's trash or anything like that. But if you're a 2010 center in the NBA, how come you can't get at least to 9th seed, 8th seed, 7th seed?
Mm-hmm. So he'll be in Charlotte before the season's out.
Man, all right. This was tough. It was between Jimmy Butler and this guy.
I mean, you got 5 players, or we just gonna?
I do, but the only reason Jimmy Butler didn't make it is I'm gonna respect what he did last year. Yeah, I don't think he's a superstar, but I'm gonna give him respect because he did do it. So the one guy who hasn't really done shit is Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is an overrated. He is the Black Vucevic.
He's on my list too, Ken.
Yep, and that's what I was gonna ask. If anybody got same players, then
he's on.
We can say that.
He's
on your list.
So why is he on your list, B?
Yeah, I feel like with his talent level at center, I just feel like he should be. I feel like it's something missing. I don't know. Maybe mental. He's not mentally tough or something, but I feel like he should be a top 2, top 3 center. He just not.
He should be top 10 in the NBA overall with that talent.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yep.
But it's like he got the play to be it, but I don't even know, man. I don't know. But he was definitely in my list because when I look at him, I'm like, damn, this guy is, top high draft pick. He was, had good, he went head to head with Joel Embiid a few years back and stuff. And it's just like, he's kind of almost like an afterthought now, almost in the NBA. But people still, have him ranked high, have him ranked in as far as one of the best centers in the league. You know what I'm saying? I don't, but people do.
And unlike Orlando, he's had like some talent around him.
Mm-hmm.
He's had Jimmy there. He's had
Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine, Wiggins, D'Angelo Russell,
Derrick Rose.
Yeah, man.
He's had some guys now.
Yeah.
He's only played 5 games this year though.
COVID. He called it January 15th.
Yeah,
and he had it bad too.
Family. He's had this has been an awful
year for him. Awful year for him.
So hopefully from that he can bounce back like a champ, man, and come back and play with that fire because he got something to play for now.
I don't know, man. I read what he said, about COVID. COVID messed him up in the head. Like, so we'll watch, man. But he may have PTSD from that because he had it bad, bro.
He did.
Like, real bad. Mm-hmm. And he lost his mom too. So he was like down in the dumps about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it would have what you're saying. I don't know if it would have that type of effect on him. I hope so, but that remains to be seen. All right.
So Shelton, who else? Because you and B, yeah. Shelton, who you got next?
Let me look at my list again. So many bad ones. I had to go back through it. I had Draymond on my list. I feel like Draymond is a shell of himself right now, and his shooting went from bad to worse, and he's contributing in the little areas of the game. But I think with Clay being out, Steph's gonna need a little bit more from Draymond. I think he's gonna need something, some type of scoring. You got to score something, and every player is not about scoring. Everybody ain't got to score 20 points a game. It's not what I'm looking for, but 5 points a game from a player like Draymond, to me, is unacceptable. You've been in the league too long. You're a known figure. Can put the ball in the basket. We've seen him do it before. He used to be able to shoot threes. It was an ugly three, but he could shoot it. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what's going on, but even though he's a good defender, he contributes nothing on the offensive end right now. So for me, he's overrated.
But for me, my next one,
Mm,
man,
I can hear it.
you know what? Because I feel bad for this guy, bro. I really do because he's put up a lot of great years, and then the year that they ship him off, they win the chip. DeMar DeRozan.
Damn.
DeMar DeRozan. You allow Kawhi to come in with the same exact squad. Same exact squad. And they win a chip. And let me not talk about all them years against LeBron where the chips were literally stacked against LeBron because those Dwayne Casey Toronto teams had more talent. They had more guys. Especially after they dismantled the K Love or the Kyrie thing. But DeMar, man, like, love him. No, I like him. Don't love him, but his whole career is just top 10, top 15 score almost year in, year out. Pencil him in for 22 to 25 points a game. Mid-range assassin. Has extended his range to the 3-point line, but his game is not a difference maker. Overrated.
All right.
We got a super chat real quick too. FIFO, Caleb McCoy said Orlando made the playoffs the last 2 years. I guess that's to debunk your theory about.
Either way, Vucevic has been averaging 20-10 for more than the last 2 years.
He did better than Cat.
He is better than Cat. And again, us saying overrated does not mean that we're saying that they're bad. I like Vucevic a lot, but he should win more.
Yeah, Daryl, that is a funny quote. When DeMar said if we had LeBron on our team, we would win. Who says that? All right. So my next pick, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown. Yes, I said it. I went there. Jaylen Brown is overrated.
I like Jaylen Brown's game.
You know what, B? He's coming around on me. But to FIFO's point, like, I feel like he gets a lot of his numbers because he's like, he's just like, I don't know, man. It's just something about him. It's just something about him.
He's very Jimmy Butler. He could be a superstar, but he's more really an all-star. But some nights he looked like a superstar. It's like you don't know really what he is.
Yeah, I haven't figured it out. Like, I know what Tatum is. I can see Tatum. Tatum got a killer mentality. Jaylen want to have a killer mentality. And I think that's the difference I see between the two. He's going to put up the numbers. It's going to look good. He's going to contribute to winning because he's talented as fuck. Like, he's really growing his game a lot because he really came in the league almost similar as an athlete. But, when you need him, he just don't really show up, man. He might turn into DeMar, bro. He might turn into DeMar. Jaylen Brown, man.
That man's averaging 26 points a game.
I'm not talking about averages. And we didn't say they weren't good. I'm just saying he's overrated.
I just don't know how he's overrated when he's doing all that he's doing right now. I didn't expect him to do what he's doing now. So
he definitely took a jump.
I don't know who rated him over that is what I'm saying. That's why I can't really say he's overrated. Who said that he'd be more than that at this point? We knew about Jaylen Brown. We knew Kimba, once again, Kimba, to me, was supposed to be number 2. And then what you got from Jaylen Brown would have been just in there. But no, I don't see it.
Overrated. Y'all will see. I'm always early. Y'all will see. What you got, B?
Next on my list is Tyler Hero. I feel like that's another guy that people are.
Dang, that's a good one.
They put after the bubble play, the bubble playoffs, last year's playoffs. Folks was ranking him pretty high, like over Zach LaVine. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, whoa, like, wait a minute now, come on. The guy had a pretty nice postseason run last year, along with Jimmy Butler. He hit some clutch shots for him in certain situations that they needed. But to rank this man as high as people been ranking him, nah, I would. He's definitely overrated.
Shelton.
It's my turn again. Russell Westbrook. I think that it's quite evident that everywhere he's been since he left OKC is underperformed. And even though he is, getting some stats every now and again, it's just not. He's not adding anything to the team, and he's not bringing anything to the table as far as leadership or otherwise. I would think that he would be an upgrade over John Wall being out for the last couple of years, but it's just not there.
Yeah, I had him on my list too. So, yeah, no, I agree, man. Like Russ is still like his superpower was always a gift and a curse. That mentality of his, where he plays with that level of reckless abandon, and I think all great players need to have some percentage of that as part of their makeup. But I've always said, like, he doesn't have moxie. He's not cool and calm under pressure. Like, you can see somebody like John Morant plays with that fire, right? CP plays with that fire. But when the game is tight, they don't allow anything else but winning the game drive their decision making. And that's always been my Russell Westbrook knock. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why I always say he needed a head coach to kind of rein that in to get him focused on, don't worry about Ricky Rubio. We got to win a damn game, bro. Like you allowing Utah to really take you being our best player out mentally out of the game. And you just can't have that. You can't have that. So Russell Westbrook definitely overrated.
Okay. All right. Cool. Moving on. So we on the. Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah, we got two more.
Yeah.
Wait, I already said mine. Oh yeah. So we're back. We're swinging back around to.
No. We're on you. I just went. Shelton just went. I just went. You're next.
Yeah, we just did 4.
You're next.
No, this is gonna be number 4. It is. We only did 3.
Well, you're 3, Ken. This is your 3.
No, this is his number 4.
No, I already. My 4 was Jalen. I had Karl Anthony Towns and Jaylen Brown.
I only said 3: Vucevic, Russell Westbrook, and
I only said 3 too. How many you said, Ken?
I've said
DeRozan.
One of me and Ken had the same person, so.
Oh, that's where I'm getting confused. Yeah.
So this is number 4 for you.
No, this would be number 3. Okay.
Yes, 3 for Ken.
Yeah, 3 for me.
How he started?
Because I don't have anybody.
Oh no. B started. B started. No, you're right. No, you're right.
So really, we should be back on B then, right?
No, it's on you.
All
right, I just went.
Yeah. LaMelo Ball, man.
Oh, okay.
LaMelo Ball.
Oh my God.
Overrated. He's underrated. He's underrated.
And that's exactly why he's overrated. People like you and Shelton come on this show and overhype this man every time.
Did you see his last game? Have you watched this game?
I've been watching him play.
He's the difference maker on that team.
He is not the difference maker on that team. It's Gordon Hayward.
Ken, he's good. Melo's good, Ken.
He can play, B. Remember your disclaimer at the beginning, B. Remember what you said.
I got you.
I'm just saying he's overrated. They thinking this man coming in like he's about to be Kobe, like he's about to be LeBron, like he's about to be James Harden.
He's rookie of the year.
Okay, that's cute.
He's
what do you mean
number
that's
one
cute?
in every statistical category by rookies. Come on, man, get that man his props.
Off the bench.
I think this is as good as he's gonna get.
Oh my God.
This is good as he's gonna get.
Ken, don't do that, please, because you're gonna look stupid.
This is good he's gonna get.
No, you tripping, bro. You are super tripping.
Ken,
he don't even have his grown man body yet.
Y'all
in the last
overrating him,
5
man.
games, he shoot like 60% from 3. The dude is killing.
And that's not gonna last. We know that's not gonna last. See, that's what I'm talking about. You taking the 60% stat and you over the hyping it like it's gonna be his career shooting number.
We're not saying that.
That's what he just said.
That's not what he said. That's how you interpreted it.
We're saying that he's playing above the level where everybody assumed he would be at this point. You thought it was a stretch for that man to average 12 points a game at this point.
I mean, he's starting now. Of course he's going to put up more than 12 points a game.
He was doing that
off the bench in 20 minutes.
Probably just getting fouled and shit.
Ken, you're not watching the games, dog.
Man. At 19 years old, this he plays the game with poise, and he haven't even got it yet. Like once he
Yeah. Yeah,
Look,
and he doesn't even have he doesn't really have an NBA body yet. Like
He can
he's still,
play. He's
yes.
overrated.
And he has him and is it Miles or Mikael Bridges?
Miles Bridges.
Miles Bridges. They got the
Airbnb.
perfect nickname when they throw lobs
Airbnb.
together. Have you heard what their nickname is?
Tell me.
Airbnb.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
Ken, you know that's hard, bro.
All right.
You had Lob City, now we got Airbnb?
Let's go.
Hey,
Let's go.
Airbnb.
Overrated.
No.
Overrated.
You need new glasses.
Like Ken has named this dream starting backcourt for 28 teams in the NBA right now. Jaylen Brown and LaMelo Ball. Who would want to?
Who's gonna say, nah, we don't want them? What do you, oh my, damn near 28 teams will take them two as their starting backcourt.
Oh man. All right. Can you name the starting backcourt of the Futures game if they had one?
Go ahead, B.
Next one is I feel like my players are not really super popular, but I still feel like people kind of they didn't rank this guy really up high, but for some reason I just think his game is overrated. Is Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe game. I feel like his game is a little overrated. He's a good perimeter defender, but I don't know. I feel like maybe I expected more. That's another player I expect more from, and he just don't deliver when I feel like he can deliver, but he just don't. So, yeah, I definitely say he's overrated. But yeah, again, that's not even a popular. I'm not even naming like nobody super popular really on my list.
You know what, B? Like I thought of him, but I didn't put him on my list only because I think he's played himself into a role player.
Role player, yeah.
He's not worth his contract, but I think that if we would have said the year when he signed his contract, like the year after he signed his contract with Phoenix, 1,000,000%. But now it's kind of like, who radar is he on? Like
that's true. That's true.
He's just a trade chip at this point. We got to make the money make sense. Hey, put Eric Bledsoe on the deal.
Yeah, like somebody said, his paycheck is overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can say that. Yeah. But I mean, that's a lot of players in the NBA though. So, but
yeah, Tigolo said it right too. That they messed up trading Brogdon, picking him over Brogdon.
Yep.
So that's where they should have invested their time and money.
Yep. All right, Shelton, who you got?
I actually had a tie for my second one, which was it was crazy as I was gonna say Ben Simmons, even though that's my, once again, one of my favorite players. I just feel like he has more to give me as always, and he's not doing it. He just has a great supporting cast, and they're getting it done around him. So Ben Simmons, I was gonna put him / the Greek Freak.
Wait, so you picked Giannis?
Yeah, Giannis is overrated.
Hey, we agree on something, bro. He on my list. He on my list.
That makes 3 of us.
All right, there we go.
That makes 4.
4.
That was my last guy. Hey, that was my 5th guy. That was my 5th. That was my 5th person. That was my 5th person. I swear to God.
I hate saying it because I'm a stat king. That's all I care about is stats, and he puts up numbers. But once again, he does nothing to make a difference in the game. You go NBA team on its own is going to score 100 points.
I've been trying to show you the light, Shelton. I've been trying to tell you.
Yeah. An NBA team is going to get 100 points. If he gets 25 of those 100s, he doesn't make a difference in that game.
Right.
So, and he's not making a difference right now.
Nah.
So, yeah.
You know what? The only stat to me that matters about Giannis is whatever he does in the last 4 to 3 minutes of the game.
Y'all heard what Booker said? B sent it.
What book say?
What'd you say? B, didn't you drop that tweet about what Booker said? Tell people.
It was like, we knew Giannis was going to shoot the last shot, so we feel confident in us winning the game. Last shot.
Yeah, man.
Phoenix beat the Bucks last night.
That's what's up.
And they were trailing in the third quarter, so I had to come back to win that game.
They had to come back and get
Yeah, man. Giannis, look, man, is that your king? Because he ain't mine. That ain't mine. So, B, who's your last guy?
That was my last guy.
That was his last guy.
Okay. So, Shelton, you still got one more guy?
That's why I was laughing.
Yes, I still got one more guy.
Who's your last guy?
Mine is really easy. Everybody should know this. It's Kyle Kuzma.
Nah, he
Kyle
playing good this
Kuzma.
year.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No. You don't get no pass. You talking about LaMelo. You don't get no pass over
Yeah,
there.
you don't get no pass. Kyle Kuzma is the most overrated player on this show. I can't believe y'all keep saying that this man is playing ball. Kyle Kuzma ain't doing nothing.
Hold on.
What is he doing?
Hold on, Shelton. If I remember,
What is he doing?
If I remember correctly, and Ken, you can check the tapes. I remember you really fighting for Kuzma to stand with the Lakers over Brandon Ingram, and we thought you was tripping for saying Kyle Kuzma.
That's Rick,
We can run the tape now.
That's why I said what I said, B. He ain't done nothing that he was doing back then.
Okay.
That's my point. He was back then. Kyle Kuzma, he showed signs. He was supposed to be a lot more than what he's
Kyle
doing
Kuzma
right now.
showed you the truth now. You're seeing it. So
yeah, and I think the truth was then, but like they're saying, he's lost in the sauce right now. He don't know what he's supposed to be doing. He doesn't know, and he looks lost out there to me. I think it's lost. He said it himself. I don't really know what my role is on this team. So yeah, the man can score. You know, he can have a 30-point game, but the next game he's scoring 2 points.
He better find out now because AD about to be on cruise control this regular season. So if Kyle Kuzma want to show his worth, he better show it now.
Period. Yes, now's the time.
Yep.
So my last guy, another big man.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to come through with some heat feet.
Another damn near almost 20. He's not really at 20, but he leads the league in rebounding several years. But it doesn't lead to any winning. Andre Drummond.
Wow.
Andre Drummond. And I like his game. I think the bias comes from me being a point guard. And I'm like, damn, if I had a big man like that, we could run some shit. But, you know, I never think he had the requisite perimeter talent to unleash him. But still, even though he's a beast in the paint, it never translated to any winning. And it's just like, damn, bro.
This is true.
Overrated.
I mean, B-no.
Yeah. All them years in Detroit.
Damn, I guess I gotta.
Do you think he just needs to be in another place though?
Yeah. Here's what's interesting, right? Like when you look at them in Cleveland, they have a plethora of guards, playmaking guards, scoring guards, all this type of stuff, and he still doesn't seem to be the difference. So I don't know at this point what it is, where he needs to go, what coach, what system, what players. Just overrated at this point.
Guess I gotta be the only one that's gonna keep it real on the show. The only one.
You bet not.
Luka is overrated.
Man, listen. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode.
I just look like I gotta be the only one that speak the truth. The only one. I think my list is fire. Luka Doncic.
Ken, I will say, as much as I love Luka, I know I'm a Luka fan, but and how I want to base it off that one list. But a lot of people had tend to agree with that list when they had Luka at a second tier along with Kevin Durant as far as tier players.
I guess
that's based off that. That's definitely overrated. That's
correct.
Because he is not no Kevin Durant tier type.
I give you that.
He's not there.
If we basing it off that, hell yeah, he overrated. And the fact that people agreed with that, yes, that's overrated.
Yeah, I give you that.
I'm not saying he's at the same level of a KD. Hell no.
Beezy, thank you for bringing some fact into this because what Ken was saying wasn't gonna fly. So thank you for saving Ken. But that's that wasn't where you was coming from, Ken.
Yeah.
That wasn't where you was coming from.
I started this season calling Giannis trash and Luka trash. All right. So I was early on both of these, and then Nick Wright made the list to validate the overratedness of Luka.
Luka's not trash though, and that's
I'm being hyperbolic when I'm saying that.
But even
so,
still,
Ken, you picking your team right now. You got Giannis, Luka, and Kyle Kuzma standing there. You saying you gonna pick Kyle Kuzma?
What the rest of my team look like?
You don't even got. Why is you even asking that question?
Oh man, I'm gonna go through some because the chat has some good ones too, man. So I'm gonna get y'all quick thoughts on that. Trae Young, is Trae Young overrated?
Yes.
So
Sierra Monique put it in the chat.
So
Appreciate
it's a little too early, but he does look overrated this year.
Wait, how's it? Okay.
He made some nice passes last night though, FIFO. He
always
in one
does.
quarter. In one quarter, he went through Porzingis' legs twice.
What about Rudy Gobert?
Nah, because he is what he is. He's a defensive big.
Noah
Right.
Perez.
Yeah, he does exactly what he's supposed to do, and they're winning. So you can't call him overrated. You don't need him to do more than what he's doing.
Nope.
All right.
His job is to protect the rim.
Trying to find somebody said Tigolo said Siakam, and said 001 said Siakam and Lowry need to be on the list.
You know how I feel about Lowry. He could be on the list every year.
Yeah, Siakam is just started to kind of play a little bit, but yeah, he is overrated. I think that we expected a lot more from him coming into the season than he is able to give.
You know, he's overrated simply for the fact that Masai Ujiri thinks that he is the next he's the next superstar in the league. And I don't think he's that. I think he's your second or third best player on the championship team.
Haley Race said AD overrated.
No.
I think so. I've always thought so.
I think certain aspects of his game can be, deemed overrated. But I don't think as a whole, especially since now he's a champion, I don't think you can name him overrated.
LeBron. There you go.
But he still had to show up. He made a lot of big plays to win that chip.
He did. He did. He made some plays, but he's still overrated. I think you take him out of that lineup, LeBron is still going to be formidable with that Lakers team. You take LeBron out of that lineup, AD is not going to be successful.
Oh no, 100%. 100%.
Bauer, Howard, and Tigolo, a lot of people. Raz the King, KJ, Jamal Murray. And then I got one that's spicy in here too. Jamal Murray, is he overrated?
No. I think he's still ascending.
Corey Lyons wrote Dame Lillard.
Hell no.
All right. So you still think he's ascending, Jamal?
Yeah. I think he's ascending. But I think he's more a all-star than a superstar though.
Okay.
I definitely don't think he's a superstar. I said that in the playoffs last year.
Right.
Brennan, LaMarcus Aldridge is old. So that's why he's
been overrated.
Yeah.
He was overrated when he left Portland. So, that's kind of like the Eric Bledsoe thing. If we were talking 4 or 5 years ago, yes. Now, he just is what he is.
FIFO got in. We had a big-time debate about Aldridge years ago.
Man, I was been calling that man a bum.
That was
most people forget he's in the league.
We already know Paul George can play. He's just playoff overrated. And last one. This one is from Ray Durazo.
Okay.
And a couple of other people, but the chat went away. Bradley Beal.
You could put him on that list. You could put him on that list because he doesn't affect winning. And he gets numbers and he's really good, but it's like, okay. And here's the thing. The organization has not done him any favors. But and I don't think it's all Bradley because the man is a beast. But it don't translate to winning, man. Like it don't. And here's the thing, right? Like even if he had a bad record, it's like, are you losing close games? Are you losing games less than 5 points? They're not in games, so it don't matter.
Yeah, he should be contributing alone, 10 to 15 wins by himself.
Yeah,
he should be able to carry that team to at least 10 to 15 wins per year, especially with that scoring average. Right now, like I said, that's empty calories. He's scoring a bunch of points, but he's not affecting the wins and losses of that team.
You know who's a player at his position that I think is better player, because when I watch them, they're in closer games. I haven't watched them that much this year, but definitely last year.
Zach LaVine.
There was a lot of close games that Zach shot him into them games, that won them games, that they were a possession or two away because of Zach LaVine. Like I can't say the same about Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I thought about him, but I think 15 wins. That's a valid point, Shelton. I did give him a pass because that team is horrible.
It's horrible.
So there's only a couple of players I know that could win games with that team.
Yeah, it's not many.
So
It's
Yeah.
not many.
And that's the thing though. Being that level superstar, you affect wins and losses not just with your points, but with the way that other people feel when you're on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just affecting the game. You know, you add, and I'm not comparing him to LeBron in any way, but anytime LeBron goes on, these players are elevated to a certain level. And I'm just using him for an example. Those players step their game up to his level to play the game. And that's something that you look for in leaders, period. You know, when you got that person on the court, you just got a whole new feeling about yourself and your game elevates.
Yeah.
And that's what he doesn't have. He just don't have that.
You know what list I would put Zach LaVine on? Most underrated.
we should do that next week.
I know.
Yeah,
we should do that next week. We'll do
Underrated
underrated. I see Oladipo and Russell on here. Russell was never rated, was he?
Russell,
He had
D'Angelo
Russell. He had some hype, but you know,
I think like the Eric Bledsoe thing. I think he's just starting to play his way into who he is. Definitely overpaid. But I wouldn't at this point. I don't know if he's overrated.
and Oladipo's been hurt.
Yeah, he's
Somebody said Dev Booker.
overrated.
Yeah.
Oh
I can see
Jesus!
that. Once again, like I say all the time, I think he's very, very good. But he's made out to be like a messiah in a lot of cases. Even on here, like Devin Booker is a good ball player. He's a really, really good ball player. But he ain't great. He ain't there yet for me.
All right, that's cool.
Some people said KP.
He hurt. He's been hurt.
Yeah, he been
out.
hurt.
He been done.
He been hurt. Because when KP is 100% healthy, they call him the unicorn for a reason.
But he ain't gonna ever. We might not see that in a while.
We might not
ever.
You
honestly.
know, because it's too many ticky tack things now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, man, thank you guys for showing up to kick it with us once again this week. We will do our top 5 underrated players next week. And I'm sure that might be a little bit spicy as well.
Zach LaVine's on the list.
Yeah.
So I'll give you 4 more.
You know, we know somebody on this show gonna keep it real, and you know that's gonna be me, and we're gonna bring the heat, you know, next year. So, but yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Oh yeah, and if you can, please hit the like button and tell somebody to join you next Tuesday for us. Thank y'all.
Yep.
Man. Shelton, so they picked Kalos.
Wow.